50 cartoon Easter eggs in Fortnite. The Storm's Coming emote released just a few weeks ago, but did you know it has a hidden cartoon reference that no one's talking about? The bell and the sign are both nods to Homer Simpson doing the exact same thing.
The world will end next week!
So I guess this is even more evidence confirming the Simpsons leaks. In fact, they're doing it again if you look at this poster on the map showing Homer's famous pink donut covered in bugs. The crickets are giving us a hint at the leaked bug invasion season and the donut for the Simpsons. They even referenced the donuts back in chapter 2 with the iconic Steamy Stacks Easter egg. Right inside the power plant control room, you can find them on the counter just like where Homer works. And Cleveland's walk? Well, this is a nod to the Family Guy short film Mailbox Madness. And we've known Fortnite wanted to add Cleveland ever since chapter 3 when players spotted this bathtub dangling from a destroyed house. It's a reference to Cleveland's iconic joke, "No, no, 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 no!" And even though he didn't release it until 3 years later, they still brought it back for the trailer. No, 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 no! In fact, this same trailer shows the usernames for Cleveland, Bob Belcher, and Hank Hill, but if you look at Hank's level, he's somehow 352. That's obviously a reference to the time he got addicted to gaming. His name is also Propaniac, which is a nod to Hank's line of work and also his catchphrase.
I provide the people of this community with propane and propane accessories.
We can't forget about Grizz, who ended up having one of the best built-in emotes, all thanks to the obvious Lion King homage. I still can't believe we have Futurama in the game, and clearly Epic are true fans, because if you look at the Reddit styles, they're all taken from the episode where they visit a completely different universe with alternate versions of themselves.
Clone, robot, or long-lost twin? Taking our bets!
That's not the only way Epic puts insane details into the cartoon crossovers. If you do the Avatar Flourish emote, it looks pretty cool on its own. But do it with Aang or Korra, and their eyes will glow because they're the Avatar. That reminds me of Bob Belcher's emote, which changes every time you use it. If you look at the sign, you'll notice that the burger of the day has multiple options, all referencing Fortnite terms, from the down but not out burger to the Victory Royale. Well, this is a double secret because it's actually taken straight from the show, and every single episode, Bob has a different burger of the day on the wall. And it's not the first time Epic have turned a running gag from a show into an Easter egg. When Adventure Time came out, you could look at BMO's emote and spot a tiny snail hiding near the tree stump. Well, it turns out this snail appears across the entire show, and the animators used to have fun by hiding it in the craziest places. Like, Fortnite knows they're the king of fan service, and that's why they don't even bother explaining the references anymore. Peter Griffin's Scratcher Pickaxe is obvious to anyone who has watched the show, and that's why the description straight up admits we all know what it's for.
Butt scratcher! Butt scratcher! Here's your butt scratcher here!
Speaking of butts, Hank Hill is infamous for not having one. It's so small that it makes his jeans look totally flat, and the joke became such a reoccurring theme in the show, they made an entire episode about it. So Fortnite had to bring this to the game when they announced the collab, and they posted this, asking, did we get it right? They also made accurate collabs like Baymax, whose emote is taken directly from a funny scene in Big Hero 6. Personally, my favorite cartoon villain outfit has to be Krang's android. This thing has so much detail inside of it. Of course, because Krang is controlling it from inside, you could spot him in the stomach. But this is where an amazing Easter egg comes into play. If you select Krang as a back bling instead, and then look at the mech's stomach, he's gone. It's not often Fortnite lets you recreate an entire intro though. I'm sure they've done it themselves a few times with trailers like the Futurama opening where they crash the ship into a building, but in Hank Hill's set, his emote lets you do it. Obviously, to keep things PG, they changed the beer to Slurp Juice. But if we're talking about PG cartoons, I think SpongeBob is the perfect example, and he's hiding in Fortnite right now from the Imagination emote.
Imagination.
Then we have the world's tiniest violin.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
They even hid Bikini Bottom's island in a trailer. That's right, all the way back in the flood season when Midas is stranded on a raft, look in the background. It's an homage to the island from the show. What about an animated series like Arcane? These guys took the world by storm when they came to Fortnite, and Jinx might be one of the most popular crossover skins out there. In my opinion, it's made even better by her secret companion. You see in the show, she has a toy monkey that plays the cymbals, but in reality, it's a straight up bomb. This isn't Fortnite as her back bling, but it's been around even longer than the show, appearing in things things like the Get Jinx music video from 2015, and this explains why the monkey's description is... Another collab that broke the internet was Peter Griffin, but when he appeared in a trailer for the first time, he was buff and wearing a golden suit. Not really what people picture when they imagine Peter in Fortnite, but luckily the golden suit was just an edit style and you could wear his normal dad clothes. Just the golden suit wasn't a random choice, it was a reference to the time Peter won the lottery.
Peter, my God, what the hell are you wearing?
It's a solid gold tuxedo, Lois.
We had originally given up on Peter coming to the game because he had been leaked for so long. In fact, a clip from his back bling is what first appeared all the way in the Bounty Hunter season. And that back bling finally came out 3.5 years later with Peter and Chicken fighting on it. They even brought the Peter Copter. And because it took so long for him to arrive, Epic just had to roast us one last time. In his trailer with Meowscles, you can see him drink Slurp Juice, which expired in 2021. Talk about rubbing it in. But Fortnite couldn't have added a collab like Avatar without recreating this iconic gag.
My cabbages!
Did you know when Fortnite turned this into an emote, it had a pretty different ending? You can never tell when Fortnite's gonna drop a cartoon reference on ya. Truly could be hidden anywhere. Like in the spring event, they released an innocent looking emote called the Egg Drop Scoop. Who would have guessed that this Easter egg was an Easter egg?
Yay! Yay!
With the news that Fortnite OG is getting a bot lobbies mode, you might have had a chance to get wiped out by a Disney reference. One of the names of the bots that's been around for years is called Falling in Style, and Toy Story fans know exactly what this means.
That wasn't flying, that was falling with style.
Rick and Morty fans are also gonna love what's hiding on the map, and that's because in one of the episodes, Rick has poop anxiety. And so basically he goes to an entirely different planet just to have a peaceful bathroom experience. Then someone else starts using his toilet. It becomes an entire episode of fighting over it before Rick takes things too far and ends up tasting his own medicine.
Enjoy using it all by yourself while you sit there and think about how nobody wants to be around you and how you ruin it for yourself because you're a huge piece of shit.
And well, when Chapter 6 first released, you could find this exact moment referenced with the strangest bathroom on the map. Personally, I wasn't expecting Cowboy Bebop to show up in Fortnite, and when it did, it had some ridiculous attention to detail. In fact, you probably had no idea there was a secret character hiding in the set. That's right, on Faye's back bling, you'll see a phone from the show, and if you look even closer, you'll find Ed on the line. Speaking of anime, Dragon Ball Z is what truly broke people's minds. Now that was a big deal, so obviously Epic had to put a lot of effort into it, and it really shows in the boosting key emote, which looks like this normally, unless you use it with Beerus. And I always forget that The Nightmare Before Christmas is in the game. Technically not a cartoon, but it's animation, so I'm counting it, especially because of how good the secrets are. For example, Jack Skellington's traversal emote is the walking bathtub from the movie, and yeah, it even plays. As for Sally's outfit, you might notice her back bling, which is a frog in a cauldron. If you're a hardcore fan, you'll know this is from like 10 seconds in the movie where Sally makes soup with frog's breath. And things get extremely detailed with Gwen Stacy. If you use her emote with her skin, it'll drop to 24 frames per second, which is the exact frame rate of the movie. And for just a split second in the My Hero Academia trailer, you can see Deku kneeling in front of All Might. It's actually a pretty cool reference taken from episode 2 of the show.
Young man, you too can become a hero.
We are going super OG with this one though, because if you were around back in 2018, you might remember everyone freaking out over one of the first animated Easter eggs in Fortnite. This simple outhouse had a crescent moon on the door, and I don't think this one needs explaining. Even earlier than that, we had the first Easter egg in the whole game, this random statue made of cars, which turned out to be a nod to Truckosaurus from The Simpsons.
Please welcome the all-new Truckosaurus 2.
Epic has always embraced comedies more than any other cartoon, like Futurama, where you could hire Bender as an NPC and then take him to a vending machine. This would unlock exclusive dialogue that only true fans would understand. He asked the vending machine, "Didn't I have a baby with you once?" And if you're wondering, he did. Epic loves to pander to our childhoods, and that's why Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was such a cool crossover. They went all out for this one. Each turtle has their very own stance emote where they'll pose on a sewer pipe. But depending on whose emote you're using, it'll show a different prop, from Shredder's helmet, to the Foot Clan banner, even Metalhead sliced into pieces. While we're talking about cool emote details, BMO lets you play Fortnite on them in the tree stump emote I mentioned earlier. While it's already cool to see a Game Boy style version, it gets even better when you try this in LEGO Fortnite. Epic actually changed it so you'll be chopping down trees in the LEGO mode instead. Back to The Last Airbender, this collab also brought us Toph to the game, and her back bling is hiding an incredible reference. This is the Earth Rumble belt, and if you're wondering what that means, Toph is a secret fighter in this underground club, and after they recruit her, she earns this belt, becoming the champion of the Earthbending arena. They also teased The Last Airbender in the best way. If you remember, right before it dropped, you could find an iceberg on the map that was quickly approaching. After a couple of updates, this became its very own POI with an orb in the middle, and if you look through the ice, you would see Aang and his bison Appa. The reason they did this huge teaser before it dropped is because that's exactly how the show itself begins, with Aang trapped in the ice for over a century. In fact, they did this exact same thing with Attack on Titan. Before release, they teased Eren into the world with an image of him overlooking Mega City. Quickly, fans realized this was a one-to-one recreation of the very first poster for AOT, and they even used the metal dragon to portray the colossal Titan over the wall. But one of the most unexpected cartoon Easter eggs in Fortnite history was at Risky Reels in Chapter 1. That's because in the middle of a random match, without any warning, players looked at the projector screen and saw Wreck-It Ralph.
Hello there.
Now let's talk about my absolute favorite secret, one that you could only find when eliminating a boss, and he's not even in game anymore. I'm of course talking about Peter Griffin's death. Those are 50 cartoon Easter eggs in Fortnite. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.